Welcome to the Mindful Educator podcast. This is a place to come if you're seeking calm amongst the chaos, transformation and personal shifts, inspiring conversations, and practical advice to help you build a more balanced and fulfilling life. Come join me, your host, Victoria R. I'm a mum, teacher, coach, mindfulness instructor, multi-business owner, and city-turned-country girl, and I'm sharing the lessons I wish I had known sooner. Let's take this journey of personal growth and meaningful change together. All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Mindful Educator podcast. So I'm joined today by the beautiful Tash Forbes, and Tash is a breathwork facilitator, a nervous system educator. She's also a mum and a creator of the space called Breathing Space. So I'm really excited to have Tash on today and to have a bit of a chat because I've worked out a lot of our work's quite similar in some ways, but also quite different. So it's going to be quite interesting to delve in and hear from Tash's point of view. So Tash, welcome.
Hello, Victoria. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. So I thought we might just start off just by you telling us a little bit about yourself and kind of how you've ended up in this kind of space and how you've ended up doing this work. So I'm going to hand that over to you.
Thank you. I believe my journey into this space, breathwork and nervous systems, probably starts like most others. We hit a point of burnout and then it's learning a new way of being. And I know a lot of women can relate. We just get so stuck in this cycle of like go, 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 and then there becomes a breaking point. And then, so for me, that was not too long ago in November 2023. Yeah. I ended up in hospital at breaking point. I'd screamed at my partner, yelled at the kids, walked out, like just hit this point of like, I can't keep going like this. I was so anxious, so overwhelmed, and I had no joy in life left. Like I just was, autopiloting through the days, and I was like, I don't know what more there is. Like it started to feel like really depressive, and I ended up going up to the hospital with a major panic attack. And they put me on some anti-anxiety meds, and I said to the doctor, so when can I come off these? And his response was, when you aren't anxious. I was like, okay, so how do I do that?
Yeah.
Oh, we should start seeing a psych. And I was like, okay, no worries. But I'd been seeing a psych for like the 12 months beforehand, and like not much was sort of like shifting. I felt like I was, working through some of the stuff, but just talking about it just really didn't give me much result. Yeah. I then love the way the phone listens. Like your phone is like always listening.
I know.
To do you get that? And so
yeah.
In the 12 months prior to a bit of like my breakdown, I experienced a really traumatic pregnancy, and motherhood was just really hard for me, working full-time as the manager of housing with the Department of Communities, and just high pressure situation, then trying to be a mum, and then trying to be a woman, and then a wife and a friend, like all those things, it all just kind of got a bit too much. And so it came up on my Facebook, breathwork. And I was like, oh, I'm breathing anyway. What do you mean breathwork, right?
Which most of us probably think.
Which is probably the most common response that most people have when they hear like breathwork. Like, what do you mean I'm breathing anyway? So I booked in for a session, and I went and had my first breathwork experience with a facilitator, and it completely shook me. I was crying, I was shaking. It was a bit of like a really hectic experience. Yeah. And I came out of that feeling so whole. And I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever done. Why is this not on every single corner of every single street in Australia? The healing that I was able to obtain out of that one breathwork session was really profound. And I felt instantly coming out. I felt lighter. The tension in my shoulders had shifted. The belief that I was carrying that that I had to do everything was just like so many things had shifted in that session. So
Wow.
then I took it upon myself to sign up for the training straight after that and was like, I'm gonna do this. This is what more the world need more of.
Yeah, that's so awesome. So, for those of us that don't really know much about breath work, what is it? So obviously it involves breathing.
Yeah.
But why did your body have such an insane response to it? Like, what does it actually, how does that happen?
With breath work, so there's such a spectrum of breath work, or like an umbrella, like there's so much that fits under the umbrella of breath work. Like breath work, you and I breathing, becoming conscious of our breath
Yeah.
is breath work. But then there's also breath work that activates and energizes the body.
Okay.
And then there's breath work techniques, like the breath work that I facilitate, where it completely changes your biology, really oxygenates the body and takes your thinking mind offline,
Mm.
accesses like that subconscious part of your mind. And then that's where we can really get into that part of the nervous system where we're kind of like driven from essentially.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's like breath work. There's so many different techniques and like everybody's like, oh, I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Most people liken it to like mindfulness, meditation, or yoga, because in yoga, you're obviously doing a lot of breathing. But what I've found through my work is that we actually functionally aren't even breathing that well to support our bodies. So
Mm.
that's like another side part of breath work that
Yeah.
isn't really considered. Like we're breathing anyway, but are we really breathing in a way that supports our being?
Yeah.
And so I'm really having fun with that at the moment, leaning more into like that bit of functional breath work
Yeah.
around breathing to support your body and support your nervous system on a daily basis outside of like a specific healing technique.
Yeah. That's so cool. Yeah, because I know obviously I run mindfulness sessions with
Yes.
children and adults and stuff. So obviously, deep breathing is a thing, but I
Yeah.
haven't really done much in terms of the breath work side of things. And I know some people have said, for those that I've spoken to have done it, some walk away and they're like, oh, I felt really invigorated and really alive. And then others are like, I felt so drained and kind of, like I'd been pummeled by something. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess when you're kind of activating that nervous system and kind of delving deep, you can have either response really, can't you? So I know for some people they love it, some people hate it. So it's quite interesting kind of that, yeah,
Yeah.
experience there.
The discomfort of that deeper healing breath work is something that not everybody um, is comfortable with because it's hard. And like the human brain is also wired to take us away from discomfort. We want rather stay with what's comfortable. So to move through a breathing technique that is getting you back into your body and bringing up a lot of these emotions that we've never really been safe to sit with, it can be a lot for those people. I've found a lot of these breath works happen in group settings, which is great. But I also find, depending on the safety of that group setting, if you're somebody who's never felt safe from, the age of 5 or 6 to feel sad or feel shame or feel guilt, like we then drop you into a breathwork session in a group of, 15 people, and then you're like, that's not ever actually been safe for you. So I think the one-on-one sessions that are being facilitated, I find to be quite intimate experience, and safety can be found in that to really move through rather than
Yeah.
just in the group settings. I'm not sure if you've heard similar, but the results of the one-on-ones can be quite healing because you're also not held, you're not subconsciously like judging yourself, or like you hear
Yeah.
somebody else crying and thinking, oh, why are they, like it can kind of be like a bit distracting. I have only ever done group settings online, so I'm not sure how, and I'm actually going to Perth in a couple of weeks, and I'm excited to go and try out a few groups because I mean, I love breathwork personally.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see how people move through those group settings.
Yeah. So obviously one-on-one's an option to do because I know for me, I know that I don't let go very well in a group setting. So for me, I'd probably have to focus on one-on-one, or like you said, an online where at least no one else can hear you, sort of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's good to know that those options are there because I think the only ones I've mainly seen are these big group sessions, like you said, down in Perth and other things. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's good to know as well.
Yeah, I facilitate my sessions online as well as in person here where I am. I find I've had a few people that have been to a group setting and they're like, it, that just, I didn't feel safe. I'm carrying a lot of trauma and there just was not a safe setting. So I like with the one-on-ones working, yeah, it's quite intimate and that, being a trauma-informed practitioner as well,
Yep.
understanding that and helping someone move through it is, yeah.
Yeah. So with when you say you're a trauma-informed practitioner, what does that mean as well? Like how does that kind of play into it?
Sort of understanding the nervous system, understanding how trauma is working in your body, and then, helping you ground through and move through that rather than just sort of like making you breathe through it and staying to a standard script.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, cool. I love that. So for those of us kind of moving about our day to day, are there any things that you would suggest that we could start doing now without having to go to a breathwork session or without having to go to a facilitator that could just help? Because I know there's a lot of parallels between our stories. Like I know
Yeah.
for me personally, yeah, I ended up in hospital. That was kind of a big wake up call for me as
Mhm.
well. And kind of things changed drastically from that point to kind of avoid people having to do and get to that point that we both got to, are there some things that we can be doing each day that can just assist with our nervous system regulation?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, I'm really passionate about getting to the root cause of what the dysregulation is, which is something that I find a lot of people aren't willing to look
Mm,
at. But coming, like from that alignment piece for you, you're going to continue to get dysregulated if when you're not willing to sort of like look into what is the cause of the dysregulation, which is obviously what, you and I both help women with. So, but in terms of tools to help you through your day, definitely your breath is the quickest and easiest. You obviously carry it with you all
yeah.
the time. And if you're not breathing, well, it's not looking good, is it? So,
True, true.
what I find is we are told to take a deep breath to calm down. It's like
Mm,
kind of my biggest pet hate now because I know that if your body's not been in a calm, regulated state for years, and I know that is true for me. So for me, it was several years where I was just in this constant state of fight or flight, which led me to obviously my hospitalization. But when we're in it, we don't recognize that there's
mm,
any. I think we're just going, 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 and there's no. Somebody asked me, well, how does somebody know that they're in fight or flight? And
yeah,
you need to really show the body what it's like to be calm again, to know that you're actually not, to know that you're in fight or flight.
yeah,
So, and the easiest, quickest way is through your breath to do that. Most of our population breathes short, sharp, and shallow, which is then allowing the body and the brain to tell us that we're in this fight or flight state. So, slowing
okay.
down and taking a deep breath in moments when you are calm, when you're making your coffee or when you're reading your kids a book or when you're sitting on the lounge watching Netflix, like really breathing deep breaths, then low and slow into your belly, not into your chest, will change your biology, will make your nervous system switch states.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that you're saying to do it when you're calm as well, because there's nothing more frustrating than when you are in a moment, someone's like, just breathe. You're like, oh my gosh.
It's a bit, it's a bit like a red flag to a bull, isn't it? It's like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? Like, I don't need to be, I just, no.
Yeah. No, now's not the time.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
expecting our body too to calm down when it is so, when something has activated us, something has caused us to move into that fight or flight response is like, we just need to, yeah, feel that for a sec. And then also, yeah, if we do need to calm down, breathing into that lower part of our belly.
Yeah.
99% of the people that I have seen through the work that I do is a deep breath and everybody's shoulders rise and they breathe like into their chest. And that is essentially keeping your body in that fight or flight state. So breathing low and slow into your belly, expanding, that part of your body.
Yeah.
When you're breathing out, the belly button falling back towards your spine and breathing in a way that is actually calming for the body, activating that parasympathetic nervous system
Yeah.
is helpful. I don't know about you, but I was never taught to take a deep breath. Everybody just says it, but
Yeah.
nobody like showed me how to do it
Yeah.
essentially. And I was like,
I think it was only when I did some yoga and some meditation that
mhm.
I kind of learned about that because, yeah,
Yeah,
it was, yeah, I didn't have a clue before that. So
yeah.
good
And
to
I
know.
think a lot of people say to me, oh, but I can't meditate. So that means I can't do breath work. And I'm like, no, that is completely, breath work is a part of meditation, but you don't need to be able to meditate to be able to do breath work. You actually can't meditate if your body is not in the parasympathetic. Your
Yeah.
body that is wired to look for danger and keep your mind running is not going to be able to sit and relax and, actually enjoy all the benefits of meditation
Yeah.
when it's not in that correct state.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah. And it's interesting that you say that as well, because I think most people are like, oh, meditation, yeah, like how boring, blah, blah, blah. Like, and I hear that a lot. Like people are like, oh, I can't just sit there and meditate,
Yeah.
even 5 minutes. And it's like, why can't you? Why can't you sit there for 5 minutes? Like, we're not asking much out of the 24 hours of a day.
Hmm.
5 minutes is all you've been asked to do. And they're saying that they can't even rest
Yeah.
and relax for that amount of time. And it's
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, so maybe if you're not able to do that, that could be a sign that perhaps,
That
yeah, you're in
absolutely.
fight and flight right there.
That is like a number one sign. I know for me, even to sit with my kids and play Lego, to read them a book, my body would start to become anxious. I'd start to buzz. My mind would be racing. Like, did you unpack that dishwasher? Is the washing still on? And I know a lot of women can relate. Like, a lot of women can't sit and just be still because
Yeah.
there's actually no safety in your body to sit and be still. We need to sort of train your body to know that sitting still is safe through your nervous system to then be able to enjoy those moments of stillness and slowing down. It's very hard to slow down if your body's not ever safe to do that. So that's where I think the breath work comes in, is because we can do all the things, add it to the calendar, put it
Yeah.
on a to-do list, set a timer, you like all these things. But if we're not actively using our breath to change our state, none of it's even going to work.
Oh, so interesting, isn't it? And I love that you've also brought up like, if we can't lay with our kids while we're reading or things like that. Like, what else did you notice when you were kind of in that state of, being constantly wired and not being able to calm yourself? Like, what other signs came up for you?
Very agitated, snapping. My mind could never rest, restless sleep, the always doing, never in the being. But I think I mentioned it before. It's like I didn't, until I've come out of that state, I thought
Mm.
that was just me. I thought that I was just the high performer, go getter, get shit done. That was just me and my personality from like being 7 years old. That's how I've
Yeah.
always been. So they kind of keep pushing and pushing. And it was like only when I'm out of the storm, essentially, that I can
Yeah.
actually look back and be like, that was not normal. And I think so much of our world now is normalizing this go, 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 got to have 100 things on the go. And we can't just sit. We're not, it's uncomfortable to sit still, one.
Yeah.
And we're just, yes, a lot of our bodies are not safe to do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because I know for me as well, I also had like a lot of physical symptoms come through, which at the time, again, I didn't pay attention to, but constantly getting sick, I was getting psoriasis, like all sorts of things were coming up physically for me as well as all the
Yeah.
mental side of things. And yeah, it's not kind of like, however many years down the track, it's like, oh, okay, Victoria, that wasn't normal.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
body had been screaming at you for years. Like, so
Yeah. And that's what it does, doesn't it? It whispers before it starts to scream. So
yeah,
I think I love the world that we're moving into with this more holistic approach, and people are now being a lot more open to, oh, not, I wouldn't say alternative, but yeah, alternative ways of helping them become like healthier in terms
yeah,
of like mind, body, and spirit. Um, but traditionally, it's still not there. And I
yeah.
know, like, I've had conversations with, medical professionals and GPs. I'm like, at not one point did anybody ask me the state of my nervous system. Not at one point in that whole time I was seeing and talking, did anybody ask me to come back to my body and check with my breath. How was my breath? Of course, I was anxious 24/7 because I was breathing in a way that never supported me to feel safe and calm. So,
Yeah. So
and
what did
our
they say when you asked, like when you brought that up with them? Did anyone say anything about it?
afterwards,
Yeah.
yeah, oh, that's fascinating. So now I'm working really hard to, educate. Well, I mean, our medical professionals already know this. It's
Mm.
just they obviously don't have the time and space
Yeah.
to provide that sort of one-on-one support to clients. So, yeah, and I suppose that's now what you and I offer as a complimentary service. So,
Yeah. And it's just, I think it's, yeah, just spreading that awareness, making sure people recognize that, this isn't normal, that
yeah,
there's a much better way to be living. And yeah, I think, like you said, it's just trying to get that word out there, isn't there? And, let as many people
yeah.
know.
Absolutely. And I'm, the world that we live in with so many great platforms now, like
Mm.
podcasting, and, there's so much information out there. It's not like there's a lack of information.
Yeah.
It's just having, I think, hearing from somebody that has already moved themselves through the motions, I suppose,
Yeah.
and out the other side, and knowing that it is possible for them too to live a little healthier and a little happier, breathing easier.
Yeah. Definitely. I love that. So, in terms of children and for, parents that may be listening or educators or anyone else, how can we go about supporting the children to kind of recognize all this so that they don't grow up thinking that this is normal and, all the rest of it? What would you suggest for that perspective?
I My suggestion would be the more times you can check in with your breath throughout the day, check in with your state, how are you really feeling, and really breathe in a way that supports that rest and digest part of your body. The easier it is when you are overwhelmed, you are going to be able to calm down. Like I see it in my son when he's, really upset. And I'm like, there's no point telling you to take a deep breath to calm down because you can't actually hear me.
Yeah.
And we need to really practice that and show the body that that is a safe breath to take, especially if it's not been something that you've done for a while. You're not automatically going to be able to do it. I like to
Yeah.
say it's sort of like, imagine walking into a waterfall with no path. You've kind of got to walk the path in,
Yeah.
to really have the body become like familiar with it. So those more times, you don't need an hour to practice, like
Yeah.
5-10 minutes a day. And we all have that. It's just, what are we willing to prioritize, right?
Mm.
I know for me, before bed, practicing with my children, just having them lay on the floor and we just breathe into our belly and really have the moment to check in with how they're feeling, how their day went, and really like set the tone to be able to go to bed easier.
Yeah, oh, I love that as well. That's a really good idea to do it just before bed because obviously that's going to help calm their body as well and hopefully kind of get them in that that sleep. So I
Yeah,
think for me, when I can't sleep, deep breathing works a charm
yeah,
every time. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And believe like there we are the most, our brain's most susceptible just before sleep for new information. So the more that we, implement these things, it just becomes a natural way of
Yeah.
being then.
Yeah. And just getting them to feel their body as well. And I think
Yeah,
those emotions and feel what comes up, which,
yeah.
most of us were told just to shut it down, move on, keep smiling.
Look where that's got
Yeah.
us, right?
It's like, oh. And I know like so many of us don't want our children and that generation growing up with what we're pretty much trying to undo as adults, really, isn't it? And
Yeah,
it's not playing a blame game. It's just, once we know better, we can do better. So,
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. And I, we're all busy.
yeah,
Mums, business owners, like dads, everybody is busy. But I think it's one of those things where it's not going to slow down. Time's not going to slow down. We just need to implement the right things into our day. It's not about going away to massive yoga retreats every week, or, I mean, they're great, but the more you can add micro moments to your day
yeah,
to be mindful of your breath, and check back in with yourself. Is this actually what I need right now? Then
yeah.
we're going to move through much calmer, happier humans.
Yeah, I love that. And I know for me, like even just when I'm having a shower each night, like I just take a few moments at the end before I turn the water off just to kind of be and feel the water going over me, take a few deep breaths. And again, like that's, literally probably less than a minute that I spend doing that. And it's like, well, it really is, it can be that easy. Like it doesn't have to be, like you said, a huge retreat or an hour long or whatever it might be. We seem to overcomplicate these things. And
Absolutely. It's not
yeah,
groundbreaking. We're already carrying our breath. So
yeah,
we already have the time,
yeah.
We just need to, it's just changing your awareness to become conscious of the breath that you're taking.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. I love that. And I love that. Yeah, it's such like you said, an easy way that we can do it with our kids as well. I think I'm definitely going to bring that in now with mine. Just
Yeah,
for better.
yeah.
I
And
like
even
that.
like 2 minutes, the science is there. Change your
Yeah.
breath, change your being, change your state. So
Yeah. And I think this is what people also don't realize. Like, as you said, it is backed by science. Like, there's a lot of research that has gone into a lot of these different methods that are coming through that have been proven to actually improve your whole state. So,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's not, yeah, I think it's gaining a lot of traction as like a new trend,
Mm,
but I believe it's been around for centuries.
yeah.
So and we look at a lot of, those Eastern cultures, breathwork is massive in their life, and the way that they respond to stress is a hell of a lot different to our Western culture. So
Yeah.
I think we can take something from that.
Definitely. Yeah, for sure. And kind of go, oh, well, obviously something's working well for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. So, in terms of what you're offering, so I know that you've mentioned that you do the one-on-one sessions and you also, are you doing the group sessions at the moment, or is it just mainly one-on-one that you're focusing on?
I am doing group sessions in Kununurra,
Yeah.
um, small group sessions in Kununurra. Yeah.
Yeah.
And hopefully next year looking to branch out into some group sessions online. But my main offerings at the moment are one-on-one breathwork sessions,
Yeah.
and a 6-week intensive women's coaching to sort of like really help you reset that nervous system.
Yeah, that's awesome because I know obviously if people are listening, they're like, oh, I wouldn't mind trying breath work. Like it's good to know
Yeah.
that you do offer this as well because, like I said, people will probably be like, oh, I could probably use that. So,
Yeah. Yep.
yeah, it is
Look me
handy to
up.
know. Yeah, exactly. I love that. So just before we finish up, if you could leave the listeners with like one piece of advice, what would it be? Just to
Mm.
throw a curveball at you.
I definitely know it would be breathe into your belly, keep your chest still, don't move the shoulders as often as you can. The more you practice the deep belly breaths, the more your body and brain move into the parasympathetic, the calm, regulated state, the more that you can get your breath to take you there, the more ease and calm you'll have throughout the rest of your day.
Love that.
Yeah, it's just like not groundbreaking.
Yeah.
But it is so important to be able to recognize your different states. And then if you weren't willing to maybe look at the root cause of why it keeps activating you, I mean, you can still just hack it for a little while longer.
Yeah. I love it. Awesome. So Tash, where can people find you then if they want to get in contact?
Yes, so I'm on Instagram, Tash Forbes, and my business is breathing-space, and you can find me at breathing-space.com.au.
Awesome. Oh, thank you so much for joining me today. And thank you so much for going in and telling us so much about your story and breath work. And yeah, I'm really interested to hear kind of, how it goes and all the kind of journey that you go on and everything else. I'll definitely be following along to see what you get up to. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate having me on.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Tash. Okay.
Thank you so much for tuning into the Mindful Educator podcast. I would love it if you could help get the word out, either by leaving a review, sharing on your socials, or telling your friends, or even all three. If you would like to get in contact, head to my Instagram at the.victoria.r or my Facebook, Victoria R. My DMs are always open. Thanks again for listening, and I'll speak to you again soon.